grandmother used to stay on 67th and Broadway. Now, my grandma, nice woman, Alvy Brownell, but the gangster killers and the dope dealers nicknamed her Trigger. She'd go ahead and let that Roscoe pop off. It didn't matter what was going on. She'd be on the next thing that's smoking to get where she got to get to, and she got that Roscoe with her. But back to the story at hand. So, I remember the first time my grandmother whooped my butt. And it was the last time too, because I ain't never got an ass whooping like that before. So, my grandmother told me, let me paint the scene. So, the street all the way around our house was concrete because they had a driveway, an alleyway, and a back garage, and then other people driveways back there. In the front, you got the street, you got that little patch where it's grass, maybe like 4 feet across and maybe 20 feet long. Then it's the sidewalk, and then it's the porch. So, me and a couple of my friends used to always climb on the roof, play on top of the roof. My grandmother said, "Hey, don't be on that roof." I said, I'm being playing on the roof. Okay, Grandma, no problem. This particular day, my grandma was going to the store. She said it again before she left. "Hey, don't be playing on that roof." "All right, Grandma, ain't nobody about to play on the roof. I got you. We out here playing football. We good." Grandma gone. Fred come over. Now, Fred is about 2 years older than me. I think I probably was about maybe 10, 11. About 11 going on 12 at the time. So she like, "Hey, don't get on the roof." Okay, Fred, come down. Me and Fred talking, we chopping up. Fred said, "Hey, man, when we get on your grandma's roof." I ain't even remember what my grandma said. "All right, bet, nigga, let's do it." We climb on the roof. We on the roof. My grandmother friend next door said, "Hey, y'all kids get off that roof." Fred said, "Shut up, bitch." I looked at Fred. Oh, shit. Whatever. We kept on playing. So we go ahead and get down. Grandma come home, and next door neighbor, her and the next door neighbor, they cool as hell. They like this. So she come over, boom, boom, boom. So my grandmother come in the house. They nicknamed me, my name was Mutt, because I'm mixed with black, black Indian, all that good shit. So my nickname was Mutt. They called me Mutt. My mama called me Mutt the Butt. Nickname was Mutt. She said, "Mutt, come here." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Who was on that roof?" I said, "Huh?" She said, "Who was on that roof?" I said, "Shit. Fred." She said, "Who else was on that roof with Fred?" I said, "Shit, Fred was on there by himself. Nobody else on that roof but Fred." She said, "Okay, all right, cool." I said, "All right, bet. I think everything is cool and copacetic, right?" Next thing you know, she said, "Come on, let's go down here and talk to Fred." All right, what we gotta talk to Fred for? She said, "We need to go talk to Fred." All right, let's go. We walk down the street. Fred just happened to be in the front, in the front yard raking. He ain't got no trees, but he raking. He ain't cut no grass, but he raking. So I'm like, okay, bet. So she asked Fred. She said, "Fred, who was down there on that roof?" No, she didn't even ask that. My fault. Take that back. She said, "Fred, was you on that roof?" Fred said, "Yeah." She said, "So who called, her friend, who called such and such a bitch?" Fred said, "I did." So she said, "Okay, all right, bet." So we started walking. I'm like, all right, cool. I got away with that one. you know, just like a movie, she took maybe 5 steps. She said, oh, hold on. She said, Fred. Fred said, yeah. She said, since you being truthful on who called her a bitch, who else was on that roof with you? I looked at Fred. I was giving Fred a lie. I said, just like they do. I was like, dude. I was like, I'm like, nigga, don't say me, nigga, don't say me at all, dog. That nigga said, Thomas. I said, what the fuck? Thomas is on the roof with me. My grandma's all right. Go and get your ass on home. I said, God damn. My grandma got a telephone cord, the little plug-in overs, wrapped that shit around her head, had a little bit like this. The belt, the little thing she wrapped up probably was maybe like, I'ma say maybe 15 inches long. They call that an inch whooping. She wore my ass out. I was like, what the hell? And she kept giving this speech. I don't want to do it because I love you, but I have to. And I'm yelling the whole time, you ain't got to, you want to. So, after she got through whooping me, right? She said, I'm going to tell you like this. She said, the reason I whooped you because you lied to me. All you had to do was tell me the truth, and I would have been mad that you got on that roof, but you wouldn't have got a whooping. She said, I whooped you because you lied to me. Never lie to grandma again. I said, okay. And back then, you can get a whooping and go back outside. So I go back outside, Fred come down. Fred like, what's going on, T? I was like, nothing. He said, you just got a whooping? Yeah, you can't lie and say you didn't get a whooping, because when you do this, they know you got your ass whooped. So I asked Fred, I said, why you tell her I was on the roof with you, bro? We don't even supposed to be on the roof. Why would you tell her I was on the roof? Fred said, you snitched on me first, so I snitched on you. I said, when I snitched on you, nigga? When you told her I was on the roof and I called that lady a bitch. And I thought about it. I said, shit, you right. We can't be snitching on each other like that no more. Tales from LA. Peace.